Podcasting by Professionals teaches you to become the expert host of your own show and podcast for profit. Join us. We're reaching millions.
Welcome to Podcast for Profit. I'm Teresa Maron, the Learn To Queen, and our show is presented by podcastingbyprofessionals.com. If you want to podcast for profit, then you're in the right place. Our show covers topics like content marketing, collaborations, marketing through social media and affiliate sales, and you'll get the up-to-the-minute industry news on syndication and distribution from Podcast.Place. The team at Podcasting by Professionals has a great show for you today.
Global Broadcasting Networks is a proud sponsor of this show, brought to you by Podcasting by Professionals. At GBN, we provide the ultimate experience in professionally produced podcasting and live aired radio shows through our network stations, including TogiNet.com, AllBusinessRadioNetwork.com, and LessonsInJoyfulLivingRadioNetwork.com. We are currently listened to in over 200 countries around the globe and plan to double our listening audience in 2015. We are currently looking for great content providers just like you to start your own show to reach your target niche market. We have listeners from all areas of the cultural, spiritual, and business communities looking for the convenience of connecting with you through your podcasts. What we look for in our radio show host is the commitment to professional training and show development so that you will be set up as the expert in your niche right away. We know that this is essential for your success, and that's why we are proud to sponsor Podcasting by Professionals. Ask your trainer at Podcasting by Professionals how you can get started with your very own radio show today.
If you want to move from contact to cash, start with conversations that build relationships. Our pros talk lead generation, networking, referral partners, and what happens next in our show today. First up, Martha Sanchez continues her series with part 2 of blogging, the social media lead generating machine in the marketing jungle. Then Success Story Nancy Mathews gives us 3 ways to turn contacts into cash and why the follow-up is the key. Learn to create calls to action by choosing an irresistible free opt-in offer with me, Teresa Maron. And stay tuned for the red-hot right now insider news from the exploding podcast industry with Keith Rupnik of Podcast.Place. Oh, well, you know what that means. I'm hearing those jungle drums, and that means it's time to enter the marketing jungle with host Martha Sanchez.
It's a jungle out there, and welcome to the marketing jungle with me, Martha A. Sanchez, the Google Queen, where every show I bring you marketing tips that will engage your target audience and generate leads. This is part 2 of Blogs, Your Lead Generating Machine. In the last marketing jungle, I dove into an in-depth discussion about logistics, which is the structure you have to put into place in order to create blogs with an effective call to action resulting in leads. The second area to cover is content, and this is the core of what to write in your blog. Let's begin by focusing on balance. This means creating a blog that provides your target audience with what they need while being meaningful for your business by writing about such topics as frequently asked questions that your customers might have, changes or informational updates in your industry, complementary products, things that could be a good match for your clients. You also want to cover recall information that might come out on a product or service that you sold. This is important because it keeps you in the good graces of your customers. They'll appreciate you, and it's the responsible thing to do. Maintenance information is another one to talk about. Then there are tips and tricks that you might want to give them, information on how they can make things better, strategies, questions they might have about how to use a product. Any and all of those things are very good. And this provides you with some content to start blogging. Other sources to utilize for ideas are staff, friends, and customers, of course. You might even want to hold a contest for your customers where they can write helpful ideas on how to best use your products or services and feature an edited post on your website, giving them credit. This will gain you raving fans. So this is a great idea, and it gets people excited about you and will have them coming back and reading your blog posts. Once you have chosen the topic, you have the body of your blog, and that's the main meat of what you want to communicate. And at this point, you still need to think about your introduction, your ending, and your call to action. The introduction is what hooks your reader and gets them to continue reading within the first 30 seconds. And the most important part is the first 2 sentences. This is what gets them excited and hooked. This must have an impact by speaking to their pain, solving a problem, saving them money or time. And those are really the main reasons that people would read something. So whatever that is, you want to focus on it in the first 2 sentences. Your writing has to have energy and speak to your target audience. You can start off with any of the following. A question the reader will want to answer to. You can ask a question that will say, God, I want to know the answer to that. Let me read more. Or a benefit statement. In other words, what will they get from reading your blog? Then there's relevant statistics, graphics, or pictures that get the reader's attention and add to your message. These are all important factors that you want to consider as well. And then all of this could be followed by a video or a podcast within the body of your blog to target people who prefer to receive information in audios or videos. The final element of the blog is the ending. This is key. It has to summarize what they have learned or the information provided. Give them instructions on following up or on what to do next, and have a clear call to action that will result in opt-ins or get you the results you want. So learn to supercharge your call to action with the How to Create an Effective Call to Action Guide. And if you act now, you'll get a 30-minute call to action consultation plus a bonus audio with time-saving tips to help your business. Learn to generate more leads today with your well-crafted call to action. Just visit podcastingbyprofessionals.com now. Go to the team page for Martha Sanchez and click on the blue Time to Act clock. Well, thank you for joining me today on the Marketing Jungle. And tune in next week for part 3 of Blogs, Your Lead Generating Machine, where I will be discussing search engine optimization, or SEO, for your blog. I encourage you to take action so that you can take your marketing to the next level and grow your business. This is Martha A. Sanchez, marketing expert for Podcasting by Professionals, signing off.
This is Podcast for Profit. Now, Nancy Mathews and turning conversations into cash.
Well, thank you, Keith. I'm so glad to be here and to be able to share the 3 ways to turn contacts into cash. And I know that networking and meeting new people is sometimes the most fun part of the business, but then how do you really get them across the line to become customers, to become referral partners, which all results in putting cash into your bank account. So what I want to share with you today are these 3 ways which, when implemented, will absolutely guarantee that you will build relationships and build your bank account. And these 3 strategies that I'm sharing are really the foundation of what has allowed me to grow a global organization, a community with thousands and thousands of members, to have high-level clients paying me anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 and refer me people as well. So these 3 foundational principles, when applied to your business and your life, will really create that transformation and that big boost in your bank account that most people are looking for. So let me go ahead and dig right in. The first one is something I refer to as being the one, and this anchors back to the principles I teach in my book, The One Philosophy. And that is, when you make that first connection, when you first meet that contact, you want to show up as the one for them, the one that treats them with excitement and respect, and you really are eager to learn about them, that to find that value that they bring to that meeting that you're at, that networking opportunity, what the value is that they bring to the world. So when you show up as the one for someone else, the one that really
wants to hear what they have to say, that starts your connection and your relationship off in the most powerful way. Contrast that to walking up to somebody and then having it be all about you, where you spew out your elevator speech and you stick a business card in their face. I can tell you, when people approach me in that respect, I don't feel valued. I don't feel appreciated. I feel like it's all about them. So when you can show up as the one for others, that will start the relationship off in the most powerful, productive, and profitable way. The second point is to build that relationship with fantastic follow-up. Now, the thing I hear most about follow-up is that people don't want to be a pest. They don't want to bother them. I called and I left a message and they didn't call me back, or I emailed them and they didn't email me back. Well, my friends, the truth of the matter is that it takes anywhere from 5 to 12 contacts to get the sale done. And I want you to open your mind as to what the sale could mean in those relationships that you've established. The sale may mean them buying your product or services. The sale may mean selling them on how awesome you are so that they become one of your strongest referral partners. So they may not need your product or service. Let's say you're an accountant and it just so happens that their brother is an accountant and they can't stop that relationship, but they really love the way you handle business. You could be their preferred referral partner over their brother if you've established the relationship and proven your value of what you bring to the table. So in the follow-up process, you want to have systems in place that allow you to not only send email follow-ups that provide some value and tidbits and maybe your newsletter or some great tips on how to run businesses or sales that you might be promoting. You also want to have other systems in place and ways for you to reach out to them beyond the traditional. Beyond sending emails, you want to make follow-up phone calls. You want to send them a note or a card. You want to connect with them on social media. The key here is to not just constantly be bombarding them with buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, but ways to, hey, I want to get to know you. Hey, I think you're awesome. Again, it's an extension of being the one for others that will carry through to build those relationships and build your bank account. The last tip I want to share on turning contacts into cash has to do with the type of conversations that you have with the contacts that you make. And this goes directly to the products and services that you offer. So you want to be very clear on the solutions that your product or service provides. And I suggest that you write down on a piece of paper all of the solutions, all of the problems you solve, all of the benefits that your product or service gives to another. How does it enhance, improve, or change their lives? That's why people spend money, to increase their happiness, to increase their bank account, or decrease their waistline. So be very clear on the benefits as opposed to the features. We all know how to list the features of what your product has in it, its components, but what does it really do for people? That's what they want to know. So be very clear on the solutions you provide. The other piece is to know your competition. I guarantee you're not the only one in the marketplace that is offering this particular product or service unless you are the top innovator in your industry. And you may be, and kudos to you if you are. Most likely, there's someone else who does something similar to what you do. So what is their offering? How do they differentiate? What makes you the best at what you do? And all the time, that's going to boil down to your passion, your purpose, and your commitment to be of service to your customers. When you can show them that they matter to you more than making a sale, you will get the sale more often than not. The other piece of it is, in the sales process, is to ask questions to uncover what resistance may be showing up for them. Now, resistance or objections in the sales process is not necessarily just about whether the thing or service you offer is actually going to do what it says it's going to do. Part of your job in turning those contacts into cash is to help your customers and your prospects overcome their own resistance. Most of the time, they may have tried something similar to what you offer, and it didn't work in the past. Now, did it not work because the product didn't work, or did it not work because they didn't work the product? So helping to uncover why they're still having this challenge, having this problem, and how you're going to be there for them differently to support them in getting the result they want. So there you have it, my 3 ways to turn contacts into cash. Number 1, be the one for them on that first initial interaction. Number 2, build the relationship with some fantastic follow-up that has you still being the one for them. And then number 3, know the questions, objections, and resistance that shows up in the sales process ahead of time, so that when you sit down with that client, they're begging to do business with you. So thanks for having me on today. I really appreciate it. And I want to offer everyone listening a free tip. Go to nancymatthews.com/conversation, because it really is all about the conversation these days. So go to nancymatthews.com/conversation. I've got a free gift for you there and a way for you to turn more conversations into cash. Thanks again. Have a great day, everyone.
Imagine having a success story of your own. Whether you want to start your own podcast or re-energize your current one, the Podcasting by Professionals newsletter has what you need to be successful and on the cutting edge of the podcasting wave. So take advantage of this marketing opportunity of a lifetime and start getting your message out to millions by engaging new audiences in the fastest way possible through a podcast. So visit podcastingbyprofessionals.com and sign up for our newsletter today. That's podcastingbyprofessionals.com.
Hi there, I'm Teresa Maron, and I'm the Learn To Queen. Join me and my guest expert collaboration partners for an inside look at the problem-solving industry. We want to help you so that you can help others.
What call to action is right for you? The answer to that question leads us to another question. What irresistible offer do you have next for your ideal client? 3 action steps are needed to make your offers memorable. The first action step is to write your call to action in 100 words or less. My content development system teaches you to write a 100-word script for a product or service, or the bio at the end of your blog, or to be verbalized in your podcast. It can be multi-purposed and used for all of these and more just by changing a few words. Your 100-word call to action script should accomplish these goals. Establish the problem you solve. Create curiosity about the benefits of solving that problem. Match the reward to the free opt-in to the product or service that you want to feature as your upsell. So, action step number 2, build desire through curiosity. Remember, less is more. People with a problem want to know what to do right now. Don't make it complicated. Your free offer should be described in a way to make them curious and eager to respond to language like, start now, enroll today, don't wait, take action. You have all seen these directives in opt-in offers. So my question to you is, when you opt in, what is your reason? I bet that you're curious about the gift. You want the offer. And why? You want the benefits you were promised if you opt in. Action step number 3, match the right free opt-in offer to the featured product or service that is your upsell. So that means if you're doing free audios, videos, or reports, well, that's an online product. So since they responded to that, you want to offer a do-it-your-own pace kind of an online product and build that type of relationship. If it's a free phone consultation, then that should lead into a one-on-one program with you because they've indicated they want that more personal touch. Free subscriptions, well, that should lead to a member site opportunity. They want to be part of a community, and they will respond to your monthly features and events, both on and offline. Now, these choices have huge benefits for your business. So let's go through each approach in less than 100 words, and you tell me, did I accomplish my goals to establish a problem, create curiosity, and does the offer match the upsell? Now, all of these calls to action are real and can be found and opted into at podcastingbyprofessionals.com. So number 1, my free report. Now, you can visit our team page and get a free resource from any of the team members. We all want to get acquainted and learn more about you and your podcast, but this is mine. Learn to create a format, for your podcast, programs, and products that gets the full attention of your niche audience. If you only have 30 seconds, are you really confident in delivering your message? My system has a formula to help you find the best title for your show, a perfect tagline to attract listeners, and an intro that brings people to action. Get my resource, Introduce Message Clarity in 30 Seconds, titles, taglines, and intros at podcastingbyprofessionals.com. Now, example number 2, the free consultation. This is for people who want a more personal touch. And the second approach is sometimes called a discovery or a laser session, and it opens the door to development, strategy, coaching, and consulting services. These are available from all of the team members, but once again, this is mine. Create programs and products for your podcast that gets the full attention of your niche audience. I bring out the unforgettable, most memorable you and add the elements of Irresistible. Want to know how this could impact your business? Well, your podcast is the most important element of your branding. So take advantage of this opportunity and get a free message clarity session with me by contacting me at podcastingbyprofessionals.com. So we're to example 3, and this is a monthly e-zine or newsletter. And you know that creating a community takes consistency, it takes products and services and holding events. It's a real commitment. But this is how you grow a tribe. So this is how we want to have you join us. The team at Podcasting by Professionals teaches you everything you need to know to become the expert host of your own show. From branding, equipment, and strategic collaborations to marketing, syndication, and distribution, you will share your voice, your message, and grow your reach in the fastest way possible with your very own podcast. Start your training today with our Podcast for Profit e-zine at podcastingbyprofessionals.com. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, a memorable call to action is short, it's compelling, and it leads to your irresistible expert solutions. I'm Teresa Maron, the Learn To Queen, and I want to help you so you can help others.
1.5 billion smartphones are waiting for content. Currently, 159 million Americans listen to online radio. Yes, podcasting is here to stay. However, podcasting is more than just sticking a microphone in front of you and talking. Our program, Podcasting for Beginners, will start you with all of the right moves to create a look, feel, and experience that your listeners will not soon forget. Create authority in your industry and connect with new customers with a professional podcast. Isn't that what you want? Join us at Podcasting by Professionals. Our 5-hour program is an easy-to-follow, step-by-step instructional to help you avoid the mistakes that can keep you in a holding pattern for months, even years. Early bird pricing available now at podcastingbyprofessionals.com. Join us and get your name in the game. We're reaching millions. This is news from Podcast.Place, the web's place for podcast industry news. The Pew Research Center releases a new study shedding light on how Americans use their cell phones. Not surprisingly, the device is a popular delivery system for podcasts. Features such as watching video and listening to music or podcasts are more common with young smartphone users than with older Americans. 64% of younger adults use their phones at one time or another to listen to music or podcasts. That compares to 21% of older users who did the same. WTF podcast host Mark Maron scored a legendary interview this past week with Rolling Stone Mick Jagger. Maron and Jagger discussed everything from the band's Sticky Fingers reissue to their upcoming Zip Code Stadium tour. The Outdoor Podcast channel has launched. The channel consists currently of 8 unique outdoor-related podcasts, but they're looking for more. Podcasters who would like to submit their show for consideration to be featured can submit their requests online at outdoorpodcastchannel.com. Amy Scowen, a nationally recognized dating and relationship expert, has announced the launch of her new podcast. It's called Motivated to Marry. The podcast is focused on interviewing experts about dating and related issues. Renowned international and homeland security expert Juliet Kayum joins WGBH Boston as a contributor. She'll also launch a new podcast, Security Mom. The podcast features discussions and offers advice from her dual perspective as a security expert and mother. Podcasting giant Raw Voice, parent company of Blueberry, has announced enhanced security filters. They've added new ones to their podcast statistics service. They are designed to prevent recent black hat techniques that attempt to inflate podcast download numbers. The new Twitter bombing filters add to the company's growing suite of filters that prevent inflated statistics, including those from excessive downloads from one source, invalid applications, and web bots. And finally, demonstrating a powerful synergy between terrestrial radio and audio-on-demand podcasts, the Jonathan Brandmeier Show podcast has re-entered the iTunes Top 100. It is the podcast highest showing to date. Brandmeier's syndicated terrestrial radio show recently launched on 100 terrestrial radio stations nationwide. For more podcast industry news updated daily, visit Podcast.Place, a website devoted exclusively to on-air hosts and producers working in the podcast industry. Brought to you by podcastingbyprofessionals.com. And that's what's happening in the podcast industry from Podcast.Place.
Join us next week on Podcast for Profit with special guest Rob Greenlee, audio on demand industry innovator and head of content for Spreaker.com.
Become an expert host of your own show and podcast for profit with podcastingbyprofessionals.com. Join us. We're reaching millions.